UEFA Euro 2012, every game. FA Cup, every round. South American World Cup qualifiers, 64 games. Over 700 games on Setanta in 2012.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the Imtech Arena in Hamburg. It's match day 18. The first game for these two teams in the Bundesliga in 2012. I'm Phil Bonney, I'll be with you throughout the next 90 minutes. It's cold and it's wet, but that doesn't matter. The fans have turned out in their thousands and they'll be expecting a good game of football here this afternoon. Hamburg sitting in 13th with 19 points, undergoing a bit of a rebirth since Thorsten Fink joined them. He's had 2 wins and 6 draws in the Bundesliga since his arrival, and Hamburg themselves have been 9 games without defeat in the Bundesliga. Borussia Dortmund, on the other hand, second in the table going into this weekend, 34 points. They know that if they win today, they will go on the same amount of points as Bayern Munich. It will keep them in second. Their arch rivals Schalke will be in third with the same amount of points. But this is the team for Hamburg that are going to try and stop Dortmund from doing just that. Some changes. Mladen Petric not making it out into the starting 11. He's got a calf injury. Ilicevic and Töre are out. That means Janssen and Zijin Lam come in. So Guerrero leading the line for them. Kacha Rincon in the midfield. Aogo, Westermann, Brummer and Diekmeyer the back four. Drobny in goal for Hamburg. Thorsten Fink, their coach, hoping to get a push for the second half of the season. A few changes for Dortmund as well. No Mario Götze, he's out. Santana is out as well, but that's okay because Subotic is fit again. Bender's fit again as well, so Gundogan drops to the bench. Mitchell Langerak coming in for Roman Weidenfeller, who's got a back problem. So Lewandowski up front for Dortmund with Grosskreutz, Kagawa, Blaszczykowski, Kehl and Bender the midfield. Schmelzer, Hummel, Subotic and Piszczek the back four. And Langerak in his only second ever Bundesliga game for Borussia Dortmund, or at all in fact. These are the gentlemen on the bench, as you can see, both teams with a wealth of talent there to call on, and I'm sure we'll see a few of those before the end of the 90 minutes. So what a big day again for Mitchell Langerak. Mind you, his debut last February was a good one as well. That was for Dortmund against Bayern Munich, and Dortmund won that one 3-1. So will he be a bit of a lucky talisman for Borussia Dortmund? This game promises goals. The last 0-0 they had between the two of them was back in April 1999. I've already commentated 1-0 this weekend. Let's hope it's not 2 on the bounce. There's always been a goal in the last 25 meetings between these two teams. And in the Bundesliga history, this is the matchup with the most goals ever. This is the 90th meeting. 313 goals have been scored between the two. So that promises a lot. Let's hope they live up to that promise. This stage last season, Dortmund had an incredible 43 points in the bag. Now, the reigning champions only, and I say only with inverted commas, have only 34, which is still an average of about 2 a game, which is a very good record. Wolfgang Stark, referee of the year 2009-2010, leading out the two teams and the mascots. And she gets to take the ball. That's very well done, Mr. Stark. His 2 assistants today, Jan-Hendrik Salve and Mike Pickle. Bastian Danken is the 4th official. There is Mitchell Langerak. He's a youngster, born in 1988, which meant he's only 23. Jürgen Klopp, Borussia Dortmund's coach. Both of these teams warmed up over the winter in Spain. Dortmund were in La Manga, Hamburg were in Marbella. There is Thorsten Fink, born in Dortmund. Played 6 years in their youth teams as a nipper. Jaroslav Drobny there, the goalkeeper. So, shaking hands between Sebastian Kehl on the left and the captain of Hamburg, the home team, Heiko Westermann. So, black's the call for Dortmund, but it's Hamburg who've won the toss. On the right, it's Mike Pickle. On the left. Well, I'll say that again, actually. It's the other way around. On the left, it's Mike Pickle. On the right, it's Jan-Hendrik Salve. The two assistance for Wolfgang Stark. Well, Dortmund know they've got a big opportunity here. Whenever they finished in the first half of the season in either top or second spot, now for the 7th time, they've always finished in the top 3 at the end of the season, and that means Champions League football next season. Well, hopefully they'll do a little bit better than they did this time around. Now, I said Thorsten Fink is undefeated in the Bundesliga, and he certainly is, but he's not undefeated overall. Hamburg were knocked out of the 3rd round of the German FA Cup, the DFB Pokal, 2-1 against Stuttgart just before Christmas. But otherwise, as far as the Bundesliga is concerned, Fink is doing well. So the visitors kick off there in the yellow and black, the reigning champions of the Bundesliga, kicking from left to right. If you're just joining us, I'm Phil Bonny. I'll be with you throughout the whole 90 minutes. Since they dispensed with Michael Oening, Hamburg have lost just 1 out of 11 Bundesliga games. Unbeaten in 9, as I said. Only Dortmund have gone longer without a defeat. That's 11 games. Temperature just above freezing. And rain, when it does come down, is almost sleet. Well, Hamburg have had their worst first half of a season in 5 years. You might remember back then Thomas Doll was the coach. They were 17th, but they made up 10 places in the second half of the season when Huub Stevens came to take over. In fact, they even qualified for the UEFA Cup over the UI Cup. At the moment, 7 points and 7 places behind 6th place. Well, that was Leverkusen going into this weekend. If they can put together a run, and their defence has certainly been shored up since Thorsten Fink's arrival. As I mentioned before, Hamburg today without Gökhan Töre. He's got a knee problem. Markus Berg, who injured his shoulder trying to do that overhead bicycle kick, you might remember. This is Shinji Kagawa. Blaszczykowski's on the overlap. Lewandowski's in the centre. He's got time to pick his man. Oh, that one's just over the top. Bender wanted that one played lower. There's the cross. Dip just in front of Bender, which makes them awkward to hit. Drobny, the long ball. Piszczek gets it away. Good work from his Polish international colleague. Foot in from Lewandowski. Bender will chase this one. Just keeps it in. Good running. First time ball into the centre. Lewandowski. Oh, it's taken a deflection and onto the top of the roof of the net. And already Dortmund taking it to Hamburg. Well, it's been 6 years since Hamburg's last started the new year with a defeat. 2006, they lost 2-1 in Nuremberg. In the last 3 years, they've won each of their first games after Christmas. Dortmund haven't lost their first match in the new year in 8 years. 2004, 1-0, they lost against Schalke. There's the corner, there's the header from Subotic. Still sporting a little bit of discoloration around that eye that was the recipient of an elbow from Kyrgiakos at the end of the last half of the season. Last year, this fixture was a 1-1 draw. Dortmund won, of course, 3-1 on match day 1, you might remember. It's a free kick. They have got much better, Hamburg, since Thorsten Fink's arrival. They conceded 21 goals up to that point. Second worst in the league. But they've only conceded 6 in the league since Thorsten Fink took over. Only Dortmund and Gladbach have conceded fewer in that time, and that only by 1 goal fewer. Großkreutz not able to get hold of that. Jeffrey Bruma. Matt Sonal's coming across to clear that one. Diekmeyer with the throw. Bruma very sensibly lets that one go back to Jaroslav Drobny. And the captain, Westermann. Hamburg taking just a little bit of the speed out of the game at the moment. Catch up. Not really had it out of their own half. That's nicely done. Oh, just too much in behind Ogo. He wanted that played in front of him. Thorsten Fink, just very briefly. Subotic putting some air underneath that one. Kagawa hit from behind by Rincon. The referee's going straight over to have a word. Japanese international not enjoying that tackle. Schmelzer, nicely done. Hummels trying to get it forward. Lewandowski lurking. Bender. Good tackle from Kaczar, a bit unlucky, gives it straight back. And Dortmund have picked up just 1 point in their last 5 away games at Hamburg and scored 3 goals. Although the match seems to unleash unexpected powers after their last 1-1 draw in Hamburg, Jurgen Klopp set a new over 40s world record in the 40-metre sprint, you might remember. I was saying this encounter has produced the most goals in the history of the Bundesliga. 313. Bremen against Stuttgart's the next best, 297. Little slip, and look towards the referee. 7th game of the season for Lamb today. Speaking of Lamb, Philipp Lahm's crown princes up against each other today. Dennis Aogo and Marcel Schmelzer. They'll both be off to Euro 2012. Although whether or not they'll get a game in front of Philipp Lahm remains to be seen. Play on, advantage given. Janssen. Down into the gap for Aogo, looks up, gets the ball across, but Langerak, steady hand at the helm. The Youngstone, a good ball away as well, Lewandowski. Dortmund coming forward, Kagawa's made a run. Goal! Went for glory. Force points went for glory. Kagawa was just about to stray offside anyway. It was the good release from Langerak that made that possible. Good movement from Tesha. Nicely done. Cross as well towards Guerrero, but Hummels is there to clear up. Given away, Kagawa. And they're forward in numbers as well. He's got plenty of room on the outside of him. Here we go. This is the chance now. Lewandowski. Oh, saved by Drobny. Tried to use the outside of the boot. There's the mistake. Straight to Shinji Kagawa. Kale. And then Lewandowski. And in fact, in the end, it was the captain, Heiko Westermann, with a last-ditch effort. Excellent timing from the Hamburg captain. Blaszczykowski with the corner. Second one of the game for Dortmund. There's the whistle. Deep towards Hummels. Not really troubling Drobny. That's where Hamburg are going to have to be real careful, because they've got some very fast counter-attack players on that Dortmund squad. Trying to slot a ball through. Schmelzer's wise to it. Mitchell Langerak gets the clearance away, and then Subotic. The ex-Bremen German under-21. Play brought back, free kick for Hamburg. There's a big contingent of Dortmund supporters in the stadium. Whole corner of yellow and black. Most confident of kicks from Drobny. Kale over the top towards Kagawa. Just a little bit too long. Tempting, but too much pace. Guerrero trying to get underneath this one. He scored actually in all of his last 4 home games. Still got a long way to go to beat the Bundesliga record though. Gerd Müller and Jupp Heynckes share that. Both scored in 12 consecutive home games. Low kick from Drobny, cut out. A little bit of luck, it's what you need sometimes. Here they go, Dortmund on the attack. It's going to be one, it is one. Großkreuz scores, Dortmund take the lead. And they seem to have all the time in the world to get that ball into the back of the net. They've promised it a couple of times already, but now they've done it. 16 minutes, just about on the clock. Everybody waiting, no offside. And as long as Lewandowski doesn't touch it, everything's fine. So Kevin Großkreuz with goal number 5 of the season for him. With the Hamburg defence with their arms in the air. And the champions are in front. Guerrero. Ogo cuts it back in, looks for that far corner. Oh, that was a golden opportunity for Guerrero. And he should be annoyed. The Peruvian should have levelled things up there. He got his own shoulder in the way somehow. He knows that that was a gold-plated chance. Lam. Rincon's coming to help out. Rincon, oh, beautiful take from Rincon. And he was put down on the deck. Referee playing on advantage. Oh, go down the line for Janssen. Janssen's battling away, thinks he might get a corner out of that, and the referee agrees with him. Was out for such a long time last season with injury. He does well, and that was well seen by the referee as well, that did in fact come off a Dortmund player. Ogo. He'll get another chance to deliver across. Didn't really look up. And that ball will give Dortmund a chance to move the defence further up the field. Guerrero in some room, can take that one down comfortably. Digmar on the overlap. Good block, well left, oh, good thinking. Tasha with a chance, drills it low and hard, but wide of the mark. Guerrero couldn't get a deflection or get any part of his toe in the way. Kale throws himself at the ball. Guerrero throws himself at the ground. Just a slight touch would have diverted that one past Langerak. to kick. Goes into touch. Well, Hamburg have picked up points on 5 occasions after going 1-0 down. They've had 1 win and 4 draws. Here's Blaszczykowski into the centre, headed away by Brummer. Should be a throw to Dortmund. Trying to stir things up. Rincon's pass blocked. Bender getting stuck in. His check too. A bit frantic out there at the moment in the centre of the park. And he's brought down to Subotic. Subotic is not a happy bunny at the moment after getting that elbow in last year. He can be forgiven for getting just a little bit hot under the collar with unnecessary contact. Guerrero just moved his leg a bit there. The referee gave him the benefit of the doubt. Lewandowski's header just too long. Oh, Brummer getting himself into trouble. Borskreutz breathing down his neck. Schmelzer takes the throw quickly. Bender back to Langerak. Subotic is there. Oh, that was a little bit an unnecessary risk from Subotic. Brummer passing it back to Drobny. That's not going down well with the locals. The chance to equalise directly after the goal from Borskreutz. Is that going to prove a vital miss? Ogo tries to make it more complicated for himself. And the ball is long. There's a foul indicated. Tesha this time. Adjudged to have been the miscreant. Oh, he caught him well and good there with the studs on the way down. Put it this way, I don't think it was deliberate, but I don't think he did anything to get his foot out of the way. Painful down the back of the calf, especially with the long metal studs they'll be using today. Nice touch, beautifully done. Lewandowski. Can he get past Brummer? No, he can't. But he can win the corner. Lewandowski is rising star of the season, really, for Dortmund. Last season, mostly only second choice to Lucas Barrios. Due to Barrios' injury problems at the start of the season, he's got in there and he's top scorer with 12 goals. In fact, no Dortmund player has scored 12 goals before the winter break for 31 years. Manny Bergsmüller scored 16 in the 80-81 season. Blaszczykowski, and there's a foul in the box. Lewandowski's got much better this season. There's a little altercation. Yes, last season Lewandowski only got 25% of his clear-cut chances, at 5 and 20. And this season, 7 in 12, which is more like 58%. Lamb. Kagawa gets a foot in. Borskreutz will get there first, wins the throw. Kagawa, well seen. The sprint from Schmelzer. Schmelzer keeps it in. This is a team that know each other well. They've had success together. And disappointment, it must be said. Drummer leaves it. Lewandowski accepts the opportunity to give it another go. Borskreutz won't get there in front of Drobny. Once again, back to the keeper. Hamburg a little nervous. Schmelzer's throw. Kehl. Want to hook that one across to Lewandowski. And the contact a little bit too much. From Chelsea. Gives away free kick. So Kuba will take it. Blaszczykowski. His full name, but Kuba on his shirt. Goes the cross, there's the header, Subotic, great save from Drobny. Hummels, but the flag is up. Oh, whistle's blown. Good delivery from Blaszczykowski. There you see. Hummels slightly offsides. Great save from Drobny, so it didn't matter. And the block in the end from Westermann. Jurgen Klopp was saying in the week that you could tell with Neven Subotic that after his injury there's a certain amount of getting back up to full match speed is going to be needed to be done. Bender calms things down. Brunner's header. Rincon. Kagawa chasing him. It's a good run from Rincon. Janssen needs a good cross now with that left of his into the back post, and oh, so agonisingly close. Guerrero is being frustrated in everything that happens at the moment. It's just not clicking with him. It's just that half a pace off, or it's just a bit too far in front of him. Sometimes it's his fault, sometimes not, but that's making for a very frustrating afternoon. Speaking of frustrating, Mladen Petric there. Got a calf problem. No Ilicevic for Hamburg either today. Both him and Petric suffering from calf injuries. And as I mentioned earlier in the pre-match, Mario Götze out with groin problem. Setanta out with ankle worries. Was looking to see who's making any movement. Didn't have a lot of targets to aim for. A little bit of luck He's been very quiet today, Lucas Piszczek. Half an hour gone, just about. Dortmund leading by a goal to nil, courtesy of Kevin Borskreutz. There'll be a card, will there? No, just a free kick. Oh, yes, there will. Thought there might be. He's already warned Brummer a couple of times. That challenge. Standard stuff, really. Marcel Schmelzer on his birthday. Brummer with his second yellow of the season. Blasjakovski again with the chance to deliver something for Subotic or Hummels. Similar really to this last one that Subotic got a nice header on. And there's the chance again. The whistle's gone. Lewandowski celebrates ever so short. No arguing with Wolfgang Stark. Ball was in out of play. Well, looking at that replay again, although nobody really complained, couldn't really see much wrong with it. The referee obviously saw something. Push from the attackers. There's a chance. Janssen tries to get in front. Everybody looking for a penalty, but it's not. Second corner of the game for Hamburg. Takes it, strikes it nicely. Oh, that was a good effort. Brummer's injured himself. He's holding his arm, I think. Yes, I think he landed on it awkwardly, possibly. Something land on him awkwardly. We'll have to see where the cold sponge goes, and then we'll know. Well, this was the goal. Possibly Mats Hummels holding Brummer at the time. Well, maybe as he landed on his stomach. I think that's where the magic sponge is going. Has to leave the field and go back to the halfway line as he received treatment on the pitch. He'd better get on with it then. Tasha loses out to Borskreutz. Another throw for Hamburg though, and he's allowed to come back on. Once again. Lamb to take it. Hummels stays strong, gets the ball away. Very tenacious indeed. Good passing. Here come Dortmund again. Kagawa plays it outside him. And they're looking for a corner, but they're not going to get one. Good work by Rincon. Venezuelan. Risky game. Sooner or later they're going to put a little bit more pressure, the Dortmund forwards, on the Hamburg backs when they start doing that sort of thing. Jurgen Klopp is no slouch when it comes to tactics like that. Bender does well. Kagawa. Lewandowski's in front of him. Good run from Schmelzer. Schmelzer into the centre, too hard. That's going to stay in, though. Just kept in. And that'll be a throw. Jan-Hendrik Salva there in that bottom right-hand corner. It was right on hand. The whole ball has to be out, remember. Long throw from Lucas Piszczek. Straight to Owogo. That'll be a goal kick. 10 minutes to go to the break. Dortmund leading by a goal to nil. Hamburg should have equalised through Paulo Guerrero. Just didn't time his jump and header right. Lewandowski. Hamburg, the only team in the Bundesliga never to have been relegated since its inception in its current state, 63-64 season. And after the first few games of this season, people were beginning to wonder whether or not this would be the season that they'll slip up or slip out of the league. Fired into the centre. Oh, lovely. Well done. Lewandowski must score. He scores and he makes it look so easy. Once again, Dortmund given what seems like eons in front of goal to sort themselves out. And Robert Lewandowski makes it 13 for the season, along with 6 assists as well. Lovely play. Faster, cleverer, more accurate. Well, Poland have got 3 players, 3 international players in this Dortmund side. And that might play a very important factor come summer. Lewandowski makes it 2-0. Here come Dortmund once more. Kagawa. It's about the second or third ball that's come into him just behind him. He's trying to stick out that foot and just get that deflection that'll play the ball in front of him so he can set off like the proverbial hare out of the trap. Diekmeyer. Hamburg desperately need a goal, preferably before the end of the first half to get them back in this game, but they won't get it if they keep giving it away like that. Here's Kagawa. There's room. Oh, they're trying to be too cutesy with it now. Shinji Kagawa knows he should have done a little better with that. Another corner. Rincon's running his tail off in this game, but it's not helping. That ball straight to Blaszczykowski. And Gorskreutz and Shinji Kagawa trying to play it 1-2 all the way and dribble it into the back of the net. Somebody has to shoot sooner or later. Hamburg looking very wobbly at the moment. Oh, there was a push, Kale. And what's that taken again? There was a little contretemps there in the box. Kale giving Janssen a push. Nothing nasty, just trying to make some room for himself. So, the retake, Blaszczykowski deep and straight into the arms of Jaroslav Drobny. Drobny wanted to release that ball quickly, but there's nobody really there. Modric warming up. Well, he was fit enough to be on the bench, unlike Ilicevic. Guerrero needs to look to the other side. He's found Aogo in the end. Now Aogo likes to cut it back. There's a good opportunity this time. Not the right time. Aogo can catch up. Not the tallest. Blasiukowski. There was a leg left in there. Kachar again. Just left his leg there for Kale to fall over. Referee wants that taken when he wants it taken. So far, Dortmund with 9 shots on goal to Hamburg's 4. There's the movement. Schmelzer hits it long, but it's too long. This time, Drobny can release early, like he wanted to. Tesha out-jumped, though, by Subotic. Referee reminding them it's a throw-in, not a free kick. So, who do we give the ball to? Once again, nobody moving and making any room. Offside against Guerrero. Mike Pickles flag straight up. Off very nice from Kagawa. Let's check. As always, there's a yellow shirt bearing down somewhere. A little misunderstanding between Subotic and Piszczek. Fink. He'll have a few words to say to his team at half-time, I'm fairly sure. That's a good ball from Guerrero. Now the chance. Janssen. Oh, he's brought his man down. That'll be a free kick to Dortmund. Janssen's going straight to apologise. Ex-international for Germany. Marcel Janssen. Mitchell Langerak indicating people to move further up the fields. Into the last minute of normal time in the first half. From Westermann. Oskroit's jumping past that one. Hamburg could get a goal back just before the half-time whistle. It would certainly make the second half interesting. However, a goal now for Dortmund would probably kill this game off. Oh, nicely done. Piszczek's got time to choose where he puts the ball. They've gone all the way through. Kale miskicks it. Lewandowski puts it in the back of the net, but it will not count. Jan-Hendrik Salva. flag up. Shinji Kagawa. Very much in no man's land. Just a minute of time to be added on. Lewandowski's had the ball in the back of the net 3 times now, but only one of them's counted. Just letting that clock run down a little bit. Kagawa. Nice work from Tasha. Catch out to Diekmeyer. The referee will probably blow his whistle any second now. Hamburg don't know where they're going with the ball at the moment. And that is the half-time whistle. So, 2-0 the score at half-time. Whistles not only from the referee but from the crowds. 2 great goals. Großkreutz on 16 and Lewandowski on 37. Lewandowski's really a fine goal, taken very well indeed. But I get the feeling we'll see some more goals in this game. Hamburg can turn it around. They had that chance, that opportunity just a minute after Großkreutz scored the opener. Guerrero should have done better. Let's see if he can in the second half. I'm Phil Bonney. Join me in about a quarter of an hour if you can. Catch you after the break. Bye for now.
South American football with the Copa Libertadores on Setanta Sports.
Hello, welcome back to the Imtech Arena. The second half of this, the first of the Sunday games from match day 18. Hamburg 2 goals down to the reigning champions Borussia Dortmund, and as you'd expect, time for a change to try and shake things up. Mladen Petric, who's not 100% fit by all accounts, coming on in place of Gojko Kacha, who had a couple of mistakes or so in the first half. Not really very prominent in the game. Hopefully for Thorsten Fink, Mladen Petric will change things around. An ex-Dortmund player himself, of course, Mladen Petric. Played 29 times for Dortmund, scoring 13 goals in that time. Bastian Dankert, 4th official, takes his name. There is confirmation. Gojko Kacha out, Mladen Petric in. Well, there's an in, there's an out. Well, they shake it all about. Sorry about that. But anyway, Hamburg with it all to do in this second half in front of their home fans. There was a good 55,000 or so inside the Imtech Arena. No changes for Dortmund, of course, and the home team, the Red Shorts, get the second half underway. If you're just joining us after the kickoff, I'm Phil Bonney. I'll be with you through to the end of the 90 minutes. Kagawa losing out to Rincon and losing his boots at the same time. Concentration called for now from Dortmund. They've got a nice lead, 2-0. Großkreutz on 16, Lewandowski on 37. Hamburg need an early goal in this second half to get themselves connected to the game once more. Guerrero. Petric. This is Aogo. Once again, Aogo not looking up to where he's putting that ball into the box. He's done it on so many occasions in the first half. He's got a good left foot, he crosses well, but he just does not look up to see who's where. Lamb. Headed away by Mats Hummels. We'll have to see whether or not Petric's calf will see him over this 45. Lamb to Diekmeyer. Rincon. He's had a busy afternoon. Nicely done from Diekmeyer. This is Petric. Oh, that was a little late. And perhaps a little over-dramatic. We know that Blaszczykowski can lay it on with a trowel sometimes. In fact, the last time Blaszczykowski scored was against Hamburg. That was back in April of last year in this stadium. Guerrero. Lamb's there in support. Lamb's going to try and take it to the byline. Well seen by Schmelzer and covered, but that's another corner for Hamburg. Aogo comes across to take it. Left in swinging. Left-footed in swinging corner from him now. Hits the first defender. Großkreuz. Schmelzer. Rincon. Covering well. Wears a permanent frown, that guy. A concentrated frown, I think you'd probably call it. Given away and given back again. Westermann. Großkreuz nearly coming away with the ball. Good jump from Hummels. Langerak. Knocked on by Brummer. Good ball from Rincon, just a little bit too far in front of Lamb. There's a hand in there, seen as well. Janssen knocks it wide, but not fast enough, not with enough weight. Still a Hamburg throw. Subotic knocks that one up the field. There's a little shove from Tesche on Bender. Dortmund have the ball. Guerrero. Ball over the top from Rincon. Hamburg have to be so careful because Dortmund are so quick on the break. 1 minute. They could be in Dortmund's penalty box in the next minute. The ball's in the back of their own net. It's a goal kick, according to the referee. Fans don't like that much. There's a little placard there, the banner reading ticket prices should be reduced now. Before the game there was 1,000 or so Dortmund players that refused to pay, fans, I beg your pardon, not players, that refused to pay the entrance price, saying that Hamburg's tickets were too expensive. But, they might consider that, but compared to some of the other leagues, like the Premier League and the Serie A, they're much cheaper indeed. Kale with the foul on. The player that brings free kick, will go lining it up. Is he going to try and test the Australian keeper? No. Test the patience of the fans instead. It was a poor free kick. That's a lot better. Well, Fink does have Heung-min Son on the bench as well. You might see him later on as well. There's the turn. Lewandowski has got support. Oh, he's hit that one far too far ahead of himself. Schmelzer was there. Oh, that's good play between Grosskreutz and Schmelzer. Lewandowski. Bruma panicking, gets the ball away just. And Hamburg's defence seemed to stare like a rabbit in the headlights when Dortmund come forward. Here they come again. Kagawa pushes it wide. Oh, Grosskreutz sliced his shot, got a little bit of luck. In as much as it hit somebody and came back to him. That's a free kick. Subotic fouled. Schmelzer's taken it. There's the header. Wide of the goal. Drobny not bothered at all. And Schmelzer, Subotic, I beg your pardon, both running the same curve. Kale with a header. That was a great header from the captain. First time ball through to Shinji Kagawa. Oh, he's fallen over his own studs. Trying to force that one through. That was an excellent pass to him, though. Nice work from Guerrero. Tesha pushing it to Aogo. Well, the first touch wasn't good from Tesha. Guerrero got a little knock off of Kale. Clash of heads. Guerrero's still scratching his head, but he's going to be all right. Lamb with the ball to Rincon. Rincon gets it out to Tesha. Janssen hooks it on. Hummels will get there in front of Guerrero. Diekmeyer's there, he's in a lot of room. Nobody seems to have seen him. They have now. And another good block from Marcel Schmelzer. Another corner for the home team. Should have possibly played that first time towards Guerrero. Might have brought something more than a corner. Very deep towards Heiko Westermann. That's another corner. Go once more, straight up in the air. Langerak comes and gives it a good wallop. Hamburg on the ascendancy, but Brummer not really sure where he is. Kagawa starts Dortmund moving again, and here comes that yellow tide. Oh, it's good stuff. Lewandowski, they're everywhere. Blaszczykowski! Oh, he scored again! He hasn't scored since last March, and that was in the game against, you guessed it, Hamburg, and it's 3-0. And the danger that was always there, that willingness to break and get forward that Dortmund have. Brummer caught in possession, and the break. Bit of luck. Blaszczykowski sizes up the opposition where he wants to put it, into the side netting. That's an assist for his Polish teammate. Drobny might want to look at that angle again. First goal of the season for Kuba. Are we going to see a rout? Kagawa, he's got plenty of space. He likes a shot from distance too. He likes a shot from anywhere, does Shinji Kagawa. Well, we saw Borussia Mönchengladbach lay out their credentials this weekend on the Friday in the first game of 2012. Schalke did it yesterday, and Dortmund are doing it today. Believe me, this season's finale is going to be an exciting one. I can feel it in my bones. If Dortmund win today, that'll mean 3 teams will be with 37 points at the top of the table. Gladbach behind them with 36. Exciting times in the Bundesliga. As always, Schmelzer forward for Lewandowski. Slide in from Jeffrey Brummer. Caught something in his eye. Oh, it's probably his finger. Turn. Lewandowski does well. 3 white shirts around him, and he still gets the ball away. Schmelzer pumps it into the 6-yard box. No one there, though. They've lost it again. Kagawa lays it off. Here's Lewandowski. Oh, he tried it. It wasn't quite what he wanted to have happen. He wanted to curl that into the top corner. They've scored 1 or 2 goals in each of their last 6 home matches, Hamburg. They don't look close to scoring one at the moment. Dortmund can afford to play the ball around. Just past the hour, and it's 3-0. Bender into the centre, Lewandowski. Oh dear, what a miss. Oh, he blames the ground, but probably just a little bit too easy for him, to be honest. Great timing. Little bit of luck. Nothing wrong with the ground. He just pulled his shot wide. That should have been 4. He just did scuff a little bit on the ground, to be fair. Dortmund have got Hoffenheim at home in Dortmund as their next game, followed by an away game in Nuremberg. Hamburg have got an away game at Berlin. And the next team to visit here will be the mighty Bayern Munich. Hamburg making another substitution, number 22, Jacopo Sala, about to come on in place of Marcel Janssen, who's kind of disappeared somewhat in this second half. And this is a debut from Salah. Another one of the Chelsea players brought in by Frank Arnesen. Got him on a free transfer in the summer. So a chance for Jacopo Sala to shine. Once again, Rincon with a good challenge. He's played well in his role today, Rincon. For me, probably the best Hamburg player on the pitch. Big moment for the youngster, his first touch of the ball in the top flight here. Wins the throw and wants to take it as well. Westerman coming forward. Dortmund have kept 7 clean sheets so far this season. Look like they're on their way to another one, unless Hamburg can do something about it. Again, Brummer looking over his shoulder, wondering what to do. The only thing to do was pass it back to Drobny. Petric. Guerrero tries to muscle his way through. He's not that big on the muscle department. Dortmund are just so quick with their passing and their movement. Needless to say, there's apart from the signing of Marco Reus, it won't commence until next season. Dortmund haven't bought anybody at the moment in the transfer window. Tchaikovsky with a nice little bit of skill. Schmelzer looks to get Dortmund rolling again. That was nicely done by Rincon, but once again the gears have been rattled through and Dortmund quickly turn a lost ball into an attack. This is the 13th time that they started a game by going 1-0 up. And of those 12 previous, they won 9, drew 2 and have only had 1 loss. Tasha gives the ball away. There's that slotted pass. Lewandowski's all on his own. Thought about having a shot. Now he's got support. Still be causing them trouble. Ogo comes back to sort it out. He gives it straight back to them as well. Kale will just keep fighting till he gets through or gets fouled, and in the end he got fouled. He's no shrinking violet, Sebastian Kehl. Tough as nails is the word that springs to mind, to be honest. Keeps going, keeps going. Referee tried to play advantage, and eventually, for that foul back there, it's a free kick. Schmelzer has gone for goal. It was his birthday. Hamburg still not interested in giving away too many presents. It's a performance by a Hamburg team that, against somebody else, might have brought them results. Dinkmeyer forgets to take the ball with him. But they're up against the Dortmund team that have got that joie de vivre again. They're playing for each other, they're enjoying their football, and they know how to play their football. Piszczek kept the ball there. It's all glorious stuff from the champions. Kagawa in space, he'll go. There's the ball, Schmelzer trying to get past Brummer. That'll be a corner, number 5 for Dortmund. So there's the sign from Kagawa. Well taken by Drobny. "20 minutes to play, 3 goals to get." Schmelzer's clearance. Kagawa. Lewandowski tried to steer that one back to the Japanese international, but the way was blocked. Guerrero picks up the ball. Luckily for him, the referee did in fact agree with him. The problem is, if your boot comes off and you're wearing gloves, you have to take your gloves off to do up the boot. Then when you've got the boot done up, you have to put the gloves back on. And that's at least 2 minutes of time added on for stoppages. Now, how does it go? The rabbit comes out of the hole, goes around the back of the tree, something like that. We'll just wait for him, shall we? Oh, good. Paulo Guerrero's finally finished. That's marvellous, so the game can continue. I'll go with the free kick. Header. Langerak was following that one, but it was curling away from goal. Leitner, the youngster, warming up. Most likely he'll replace the captain, Sebastian Kehl. Leitner's also got some Australian backgrounds. There's that third goal from Jakub Blaszczykowski. So it is indeed Kehl that goes off. And for him, the German under-21, Moritz Leitner. They acquired Leitner from 1860 Munich a couple of years ago. Good performance from Kehl again today. I can't think of one bad performance in the Dortmund team so far. Here's Blaszczykowski. He wants to shoot. Saved by Drobny. Well, they got a little bit of wind in their sails when Petric came on, but he's also slightly disappeared in terms of his presence on the pitch. Leitner gets his first touch and his first foul. I get the feeling that Dortmund would pretty much like to put on as many goals as they can with the way the goal difference is looking. Bayern Munich are plus 31 at the moment. Dortmund plus 25. Here's Kagawa. Gorskreutz is at the back stick. That takes a huge deflection. Lewandowski nods it down. There's the opportunity. Lewandowski. No, it's a penalty. There was a foul. Referee tried to play advantage. Just as I was talking about goal difference, Wolfgang Stark orders a penalty. It certainly was one. Leitner brought down by Diekmeyer. Missed the ball and took the man. That's only the second penalty that Wolfgang Stark has awarded this season. So Blaszczykowski fancies it. Will he get the better of Drobny? Oh, yes, indeed he will. Kuba makes it 4-0. Hamburg are beaten with 15 minutes to play. And now it's goal difference we're talking about. With Hamburg demoralised, Thorsten Fink is going to taste defeat in the Bundesliga for the very first time at the helm of Hamburg. Drobny has no chance, goes the wrong way. Coolly struck. He's well off his line, but he goes the wrong way. And the travelling fans have been having a great afternoon. Having an even better one now, so he's on a hat-trick. Well, that looks like Mohamed Zidane warming up. It's been a while since he last played. Only played twice this season. And the fans, the not so faithful, as I like to call them, leaving. They've seen enough at 4-0. It's the Dortmund fans you can hear singing. It's so beautiful. Singing. Sung in Germany a bit like "For He's a Jolly Good Fellow" in the English-speaking world. Now they're starting to sing that there's still time to get another goal. Makes the save. And this will be a big setback for Hamburg. Now there is talk on the grapevine that they just might be interested in Rene Adler. Salah tried the shot. Here's Dickmeyer. It's a good ball towards Petric, but Subotic is in the way. Sixth corner of the game for Hamburg, but they haven't really used it. Very good shout there from Langerak. He's doing well in his second ever Bundesliga game, keeping a clean sheet. Roman Weidenfeller out with back injury. Double substitution. It's not Zidane at all. Thought it was going to be Mohamed Zidane, but it's not. Gundogan and Barrios, the two players warming up. Here's Shinji Kagawa. There was a push. Referee says no. Leitner gets in the way. Referee waves play on. Westermann. Pass is inaccurate. Leitner. Piszczek. Blaszczykowski. Subotic heaves it forward. Oh, nicely done. Ball's out of play, but there was a foul. Now the double substitution can be made. So it's Kagawa coming off for Barrios. Lucas Barrios getting an opportunity to get his way back into the team. Applause from the Dortmund fans for Shinji Kagawa. And the other man coming on for Sven Bender is Ilkay Gundogan. Now the free kick can be taken. Borussia gets it into the box, tries the shot. A little bit tame, certainly by his standards. Well, plenty of yellow shirts in there he could have chosen to pick out into the final 10 minutes. Comfortable win for Dortmund. Technically, the game isn't over until the lady of ample size and proportion starts to warble. But you can pretty much put your house on the fact that there's no way Hamburg are going to come back 4-0 down. Gundogan. Schmaltz. This is Leitner. Looks for that killing pass. Oh, and there is Blaszczykowski. He so desperately would like that third goal. Cross. There's the chance. They've taken it. It's Lewandowski, and it's 5! Robert Lewandowski completes a very bad day for Hamburg. So far, it could get worse, but it's 5 now. Thorsten Fink. What must he be thinking? Needs more work in the defence, would be one of them. That's a perfect ball. Brummer's too slow. Blaszczykowski, time to pick a pass out. Lewandowski to Borussia, back to Lewandowski, drags it with him. All the Hamburg players standing there watching the ball. Watching, and there's nothing they can do about it. And I'm starting to run out of notepaper to write down all the goals. Second of the game for Lewandowski. That brings his tally to 14 for the season. And even more of the Hamburg faithful, unquote, are leaving. Will they go for 6? And just 3 goals difference now between Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. Well, the highest ever defeat that Hamburg have ever had at home was a 5-0 against Bayern Munich in 1974. One more goal and Dortmund will get themselves in the record books. Guerrero back helping out, he has to. Hamburg don't know where they are. Of May 1974 was the last time they conceded 5 here to 0. Chance. Oh, Guerrero must put it away. He does. And that has saved their bacon. In terms of the record books. Playing the song, but it's cold comfort, really. Langerack does well with the first one, but he scoops it straight back to Guerrero. And that'll be disappointing for Dortmund to concede. But I don't think they'll complain too much. I think that's the Dortmund fans that are cheering. Guerrero with his 5th goal of the season. Play allowed to continue. We've still got about 4 minutes to play. Tchaikovsky, play allowed to continue. Ogo wins the ball fair and square. And that's 5 home games in a row now that Guerrero has scored in. Cold comfort though when your team's 5-1 down. Torsten Fink does not look too happy, as you can imagine. Salah was involved in that goal. That's off the line. And all of a sudden, Hamburg are playing. Some pretty down-looking heads. Team. Schmelzer puts the ball out. So both Lewandowski and Tchaikovsky with the possibility of a hat-trick, but at the moment it's all Hamburg. Haven't said that during this game at all, have we? They started off brightly enough. Salah over the top. There's the nod on for Rincon, but he hasn't got any gas left in the tank. Throw. Here's Salah. They're appealing for a goal kick, but the referee's awarded a corner. Well, they're certainly winning in terms of corners. But unfortunately for them, that is all they're winning at. Salah takes it, punched away by Langerak. Interception, possibly. Fast-paced passes. Carve other teams up. Großkreuz. We're going to see 6 here. Oh, it was a cheeky shot. "21 shots to 9, not including that one. Shows too much of that to Schmelzer. Normal time is up. And that is the final whistle. And it's a decisive victory for Borussia Dortmund. 5 goals. 1 from Großkreuz to get the ball rolling on 16. And then alternately, Robert Lewandowski and Jakub Tchaikovsky putting Hamburg to the sword. It's not pretty reading if you're a HSV fan, but if you're a Dortmund fan, it's pretty good stuff. Dortmund would have liked, I'm sure, to have kept that last goal out from Paulo Guerrero. He had a couple of chances in the game. He could have levelled it right after the first goal against Borussia on 17 minutes. But Dortmund were hungrier, faster, more accurate. They were just more of everything. First defeat for Thorsten Fink, but another win for Dortmund. I'm Phil Bonning. I hope you enjoyed the game. Hope you can join me next weekend for more thrills, spills and action from the Bundesliga. Catch you then. Bye for now.
UEFA Euro 2012, every game. FA Cup, every round. South American World Cup qualifiers.